perspective to leadership. So it was really cool overall. Now, one of the unique things about the area manager internship was we had to do a PR FAQ. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with a PR FAQ, it's a press release frequently asked questions board. So my idea was Amazon supply. So a lot of people, Amazon usually supplies for college students. They usually give Amazon Prime discounts. They give different kinds of delivery discounts, but they didn't serve the, I would say, K through 12 youth. So in this project, we learned about Amazon business writing in our third week of the internship, and we had 4 weeks to complete the press release before our supervisors and team lead would review it. And we'd also have to present our idea to our cohorts. So this was the opportunity to think big about an idea, a product, or a tool that would be of service to Amazon customers. So the goal of the PR FAQ exercise was to introduce interns to Amazon business writing and to provide an opportunity to practice writing the Amazon way and to think big about an idea for customers. So Amazon definitely gives you a lot of room for innovation and entrepreneurship. So that's one of the things I connected from my experience as an entrepreneur to Amazon's work life. So the thing about Amazon's leadership principles, Amazon's idea of thinking big. So they think thinking small is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Leaders create and communicate a bold direction that inspires results. They think differently and look around corners for ways to serve customers. So this is an important idea to always innovate, always have some sort of creativity, and always be yourself. I feel like those things are one of the most criteria of any internship, and how to get the most out of internships is to always think big and think outside of the box. It is cliche, but it's also something that's very important that people overlook. But I think it's really important to be yourself and have that personality to think bigger than you can. Other Amazon leadership principles is customer obsession. We don't have to go too much into that, but generally it's focusing on the customer and working backwards. And they essentially work vigorously to earn and keep customer trust. Although leaders pay attention to competitors, they obsess over customers. So essentially don't think about competition too much. Think about how you could serve from your opportunity. Think about how you could serve with your strengths, essentially. Ownership, leaders are also owners. They think long-term, always make long-term decisions. I know it's easy to sometimes follow some short-term decisions, but always think in the long term. So they think long-term and don't sacrifice long-term value for short-term results. They act on behalf of the entire company beyond just their own team. So basically, they never say, that's not my job. They always find a way to adapt and work on it with their associates. So to continue on Amazon's leadership principles, insisting on high standards. So leaders have relentlessly high standards. Many people think that these standards are unreasonably high. Leaders are continually raising the bar, driving their teams to deliver high quality products, services, and processes. So as a leader, you're holding your group members accountable. They're looking at you for guidance. So it's important you follow your values and as well as being of assistance to them whenever you can. So leaders ensure that defects do not get sent down the line and that problems are fixed so they stay fixed. So you're always coming up with solutions, essentially. Earn trust. So this is one of the leadership principles that are overlooked, but in my opinion, these are one of the most important things, especially when networking. So leaders listen attentively, they speak candidly, and treat others respectfully. We all know how important listening skills are, as well as communication skills. I think they are both on par in terms of importance. Whenever you're networking, it's important that you listen to what the other member is saying. You're not only communicating important information, but you're also taking in important information. They're vocally self-critical, even when doing so is awkward or embarrassing. So sometimes when it's difficult to tell the truth or be honest in the situation, no matter how awkward or embarrassing it is, you must acknowledge that it's important to stay true to your values, essentially. So leaders do not believe they're on their teams, do not believe their team's body odor smells of perfume. So that's a little bit of a metaphor there. Essentially what that means is they're not going to lie to their team members saying if they did a bad job that they're doing a good job. So always be honest and make sure you communicate that in the appropriate way. And they benchmark themselves and their teams against the best. So they're always looking for ways to improve no matter where they are in the process. So earning trust is one of the essential leadership principles for Amazon. So that concludes my internship experience with Amazon. It was truly amazing last summer. I met so many talented individuals and interns from around the world, and I'm still connected with them on LinkedIn. So we still have a great relationship. One of my good friends, Rachel, just accepted a full-time career with area as an area manager with Amazon. So I'm curious to see how she's doing. And here are my social media platforms. So feel free to add me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and there's my email. If you have any inquiries, you can reach out to me directly, or LinkedIn is perfectly fine. But that concludes what I have for you guys today. Does anyone have any questions?
All right, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Mr.
Yeah, of course.
So we've talked about what is needed for an individual to do in the company. So I would love to ask, what's the phases like in getting internship? Because this event is a virtual event, which means a physical and then a virtual one. So what will be needed, like going through the phases, CV review stage, we'll be happy if you can show us like a sample of your CV when you started and your CV now.
Yeah,
So how do you structure it and the likes? Thank you.
for sure. So during the application and interview process, initially when I applied, there's a three-step process. So after the application, they have an initial phone screening where they take your general information. And then the second part of the interview is more of a traditional interview where it's a one-on-one where you're talking to a recruiter and they take down your information. And there's both like an analytical assessment. So when you're in a tech internship, they give you an analytical assessment, which is basically general math, which has like information on employee metrics, that kind of thing. And the third one would be an interview with a senior manager at Amazon, where they're actually assessing your skills and your leadership skills to see if it aligns well with the area manager position. So on a more general scale, I know it's been tough for people to get, I guess, the job market's been a little bit interesting right now. I mean, we're still in the pandemic. It depends on which career you're looking for, which field you're in. But I feel like the best way to go about that in the interview process is to stay productive, stay adamant. Like I said, hold yourself accountable. I recently closed a full-time offer with Mazars USA as an audit associate. And the way I did that was to, whenever I'm interviewing, I make sure to stay cheerful with the recruiter, always send follow-ups. I know in sales, everyone always says the follow-up is important. I think it's always important to stay connected with your recruiter. So I had an hour and a half conversation with the recruiter, and one of the associates there was a senior audit manager, and I found his work really interesting. So I had an hour and a half conversation with them, and then after the interview, I was thinking that, hey, we had a great conversation, but I really wanted to communicate to them that I really enjoyed speaking to them. So right after the interview, I sent them a follow-up saying, hey, like I really appreciated speaking to you, and I really wish I could take a role in the company, and I'd love to work on you guys on a team. And within the next week or so, they got back to me saying, hey, we'd love to have you as an audit associate for our company. And it just showed me the importance of following up and staying productive and always following a schedule of some sort. So always stay organized and send a follow-up. I think the company really appreciates that during an interview process. So, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. That was awesome. So I have a question here. Do
Yeah.
companies prioritize what you can offer or what you can learn from them? Did you get that?
What you could offer, or wait, say that again.
Or what you can learn from them? Do they prioritize what you can offer them? For example,
Yeah.
in companies as an innovator, or what you can learn from them?
Okay. Um, so that's a good question. There's always tons of ways there's literally an unlimited amount of ways you can innovate what you have in a company. And one of the most important things about that is to always stay creative in some way. Understand that even if you're working for a company, you still have some sort of creativity and some way of expressing yourself. And the most important way to do that is to continue to network with people in your company. I know in a virtual setting, it's hard to network, I guess, since you're in a virtual setting, it's not as easy as it was in person where we could easily exchange information. I know things are a little bit awkward over video as well, but I think it's just as important to network in a virtual setting and to make sure that your presence is known. And especially for entry level careers, I know a lot of people entering their career, it's most strange for them since they've never been in an in-person setting with some of their associates. So I know some associates who've been working for companies who for like 1 or 2 years and they still haven't met the people who they work with yet. So I think the best way to go about that is to uh, always network, even in a virtual setting. And when you're incorporating some sort of creativity, make sure that you're always thinking outside of the box. Sometimes it's okay to follow the leader in some way, but always try to be yourself. And I think that's the thing I was emphasizing the most of. That shows you how to be creative.
All right, thank you so much. Just two more questions to go. The question
All
is,
right.
how do you get an internship placement in Amazon, especially being in Nigeria?
How did I get the internship at Amazon? So the process started a year ago. A recruiter reached out to me on LinkedIn saying it was actually through LinkedIn. So there's a lot of recruiters that reach out to you on LinkedIn. So that's why I emphasize the importance of networking on LinkedIn as well as making it an appealing profile. So someone reached out to me on LinkedIn and saw my profile, and then she actually inquired, saying, "Hey, I see you have a lot of leadership experience and a lot of technical experience as well, and we'd be interested in offering you an area manager internship at Amazon." So upon seeing that, I was like, "Wow!" I realized the importance of LinkedIn and the networks I had. So I immediately reached out, saying, "Like, hey, I'm. This sounds really cool. This sounds like a really nice opportunity, and I'll definitely be interested." So that's how the process started, and then the process itself was like, I guess, like within a month I finished all three of the interviews, and then a month later they reached out saying, hey, we'd love to have you as an area manager intern. So the process was really efficient. It was really cool overall.
All right, thank you so much. And the last question here is, do Amazon have a copywriter position as an intern? I hope you got that.
Wait, say that one more time.
Content creators intern in Amazon? And if yes, is there like a process like do you like your HRO can they be connected to and are they open to mentorship? I hope you got that.
Oh, okay. Um, so how Amazon works is personally, I'm an accounting major, so I was looking for accounting options at Amazon as well as management positions. But the way how people come to corporate is people initially take the role as so Amazon wants everyone to be involved with operations first, so they want everyone to work as an area manager before they go into corporate. So if you want to be, let's say, if you want to do finance at Amazon, so the process how that would work is you would initially work as an area manager intern, so you get used to operations for about a year or two until you. So there's also processes to the area manager internship. So there's like T4, T5, all the way up to T7 until you upgrade to a level where you could enter corporate. So the process itself is a little bit interesting, but I think the operation experience you get there is really it's really nice. It's really something else. It's definitely a great entry level internship experience. It teaches you a lot about leadership and it teaches you a lot about management and how to organize a company of your own in some way. It even gives you a lot of flexibility. Like I said, we had a PR FAQ assignment where they let us make an idea of our own. And I think if you do really well with the idea, you could even implement it in some way, and they'll give you resources to work on it. So I think Amazon's really incorporating entrepreneurship and innovation in some way, and how there's always room for growth. We're always growing, and how there's always room for to learn. Even though we're all leaders, we could all improve as leaders. We're always continuously improving. So I think that was one of the most important things. And I think Amazon also supports an environment for growth. So there's always ways to improve your career there.
All right, thank you so much. And the last, we would love to hear once more about who
Yeah.
an area manager is. What's your role and what do you do? And lastly, are you open to mentoring people? And how can they reach out to you? And we will appreciate if you can display the screen where they can reach out to you.
Yeah, for sure. So I could share my screen real quick. Um, that's my social media. So these are my social media platforms right here. You could reach out to me on LinkedIn. Instagram handle is there as well, Facebook, and email. If you have something more lengthy, if you want to show me an article of yours, or if you want to share me your resume, I could even look at it there through my email. LinkedIn, if you want to say, hey, I want to network with you. Hey, I have a question about a career. Hey, if you want to talk to me about anything, feel free to message me on LinkedIn. And those are my social media platforms. So feel free to take a look at that. My name is Abay Kamath. You can just search me there. And on about the internship experience, here's the Amazon PR FAQ assignment. So on the week third, we had to create an idea of our own, which is cool. And the internship experience itself, you get to talk with a lot of Amazon seniors. You're always continuously watching leadership lectures and reading about leadership. So they make you read different books. There's a lot of cool books that Amazon made us read. Um, One of them was Leaders Eat Last. It was a really cool book and shows you how leadership is about serving others. A lot of people always think there's always a clear distinction. There's always two things that people distinct leaders as. There's always you want to inspire, you don't want to manipulate. So that's one of the key things that area manager internship shows you about leadership. You get to engage in a lot of cool, prestigious programs and campaigns, and you get to network with corporate-based education, and you have moderated group discussions with your team lead. So there's always a lot of things to do, and you get and since I did a virtual internship, we had a global intern group of 15 associates, so it was really cool. You get to meet a lot of cool people, and you have a lot of flexibility. So you also get that work-life balance in there.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
Please, your last screen, can you just share it? They are noting it down, please. The link to connect with you.
Oh,
Once again, thank you for honoring this invitation and coming on. Happy New Year.
yeah. Yeah, of course. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me. It was nice to see you guys after a long time, and always feel free to reach out. If you guys need help, I'm always there.
All right, just a minute.
Hey guys, how are you guys doing? Hi guys, it was nice seeing all of you.
Bye. Have
Yeah,
a
feel
nice
free
day.
to add me on social media and reach out if you guys have any questions. Always here to help.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Yep. Have a nice day, guys. I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye bye.